Imagine this. In the open countryside of Wiltshire, England, mist slowly drifting across endless fields, soft wind moving through tall grass like a quiet breath of the earth itself. And in the middle of this vast landscape, something stands that feels completely out of place. Massive stones, silent, upright, arranged in a perfect circle that is not entirely perfect when studied closely. Stonehenge, a name known across the world, yet still not fully understood. As if it is not just a monument, but a message, left behind by something or someone from a distant past, or perhaps a way of thinking that humanity has long forgotten. When you approach it, there are no machines, no modern sounds, no clear signs of explanation. Only wind and stone, older than history itself. And the question always begins the same way. Who built it? And how? Because Stonehenge is not just a pile of rocks. It is a carefully arranged structure, formed with patterns that suggest intention, precision, and purpose. Some stones stand upright, like giant gateways, with massive horizontal slabs resting on top, forming shapes that resemble entrances to something unknown. And when you stand inside the circle, there is a strange feeling. Not fear, not awe alone, but the sense that this place once mattered deeply to people who lived thousands of years ago, people we can no longer see and can only try to understand. Archaeology tells us that Stonehenge was built in multiple phases, beginning around 3000 BC and continuing for over 1,000 to 1,500 years, meaning it was not created by a single generation, but passed down through many, like a long-term mission or a tradition carried across centuries. The first stage may have been a simple circular earthwork, dug with bone and stone tools. No metal, no machinery, only human hands. Then came smaller stone placements, possibly markers or early ritual symbols. Over time, larger stones were added. And this is where the mystery deepens significantly. Because the largest stones at Stonehenge, known as sarsen stones, weigh over 20 tons each, some even more. And they were transported from distant locations, some likely from Marlborough Downs, around 30 kilometers away. While smaller stones, called blue stones, came from Wales, over 150 kilometers away. This raises a major question. How did people without wheels made of metal, without engines, without modern transport, move stones of such enormous weight? One theory suggests they used wooden rollers and pulled the stones with ropes. Hundreds or even thousands of people working together, slowly dragging them across the landscape, step by step, over years or even generations. Another possibility is river transport, floating stones on rafts along waterways. But even these explanations leave gaps, because moving them is only part of the problem. The real challenge is placement. How were they lifted and positioned with such apparent precision? This is where Stonehenge stops being just a construction puzzle and becomes something deeper, a cultural mystery. Many researchers believe Stonehenge had an astronomical purpose, aligned with the movement of the sun, especially during the summer solstice. When the sunrise aligns perfectly with specific stones, suggesting it was designed to track time, seasons, and cycles of nature, like a giant prehistoric calendar. But others believe its purpose was spiritual, a sacred place for rituals, ceremonies, and communication with forces beyond human understanding at the time. Because surrounding Stonehenge archaeologists have discovered burial sites, cremated human remains, and other ritual structures, suggesting this was not just a monument, but part of a much larger sacred landscape, a place connected to life, death, and transformation. Modern technology has revealed even more complexity. Ground-penetrating radar has uncovered hidden features beneath the surface, ancient roads, pits, and additional structures that suggest Stonehenge was part of an entire ritual network, not an isolated monument, but a central point in a much larger system of prehistoric activity. And this changes everything. Because now Stonehenge is not just a circle of stones. It is part of a cultural landscape spanning miles, possibly connected to other sites like Avebury, forming a network of ceremonial locations across ancient Britain. This raises an even deeper question. Why here? Why this exact location? What made this place so important that people devoted centuries of effort to it? And this is where modern imagination begins to expand the mystery. Some theories suggest lost knowledge or advanced understanding that has not survived through time. Although there is no scientific evidence for such claims, they remain part of popular culture, because Stonehenge feels like something more than the sum of its parts. There is a presence to it, a silence that feels heavy, as if the stones are holding on to something we cannot fully interpret. Even today, people visit Stonehenge during solstices, especially summer solstice, when thousands gather to watch the sunrise align with the ancient structure. Modern people standing beside something built thousands of years ago, sharing the same horizon, the same sun, the same moment in time. And for a brief instant, it feels like the distance between past and present disappears. Archaeologists continue to study Stonehenge using advanced technology, mapping the soil, analyzing stone composition, reconstructing possible construction methods. And with every discovery, we learn more about the people who built it, but never quite enough to fully explain everything. We now understand they were highly organized, capable of long-term planning, engineering large-scale transport systems, and maintaining cultural traditions across generations. Which makes them far more advanced than once believed. Yet the final picture remains incomplete, because Stonehenge is not just about engineering, it is about meaning. And meaning does not survive in stone alone. It survives in interpretation, and interpretation always leaves space for uncertainty. And perhaps that is why Stonehenge still fascinates us today. Not because we fully understand it, but because we do not. And standing there in the quiet English countryside, the stones remain unchanged, unmoved by time, unaffected by centuries of weather, as if they are waiting, not to be moved, not to be replaced, but to finally be understood, or perhaps never fully understood at all.